and that's something that I wasn't prepared for. Like, oh, I thought everyone loved it. So that was kind of like a cold shower. Like, oh, okay, I guess, yeah. But the problem is that people that like my game, they come and tell me, but people that don't like it, they just leave and they never tell me what's wrong with it.
You could spend 20 minutes on a drawing, post it online, and get a mountain of praise. Or you could spend months or even years working on an indie game, release it, and get ripped apart in the reviews. That's just the nature of the industry. Every frame of an indie game is an expression of these indie developers. All right, hi everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Indie Neighbor. I'm here today talking with Arlychaut about his puzzle platformer game with a cool physics element to it called You Remembered. Arlychaut is talking to me from England. Go ahead, Arlychaut, introduce yourself.
Hey, yeah, well, thanks for having me first. Yeah, so I'm a game dev from London. I mean, I'm French, but I live in London, and that's not my main job, by the way. I'm a car designer, but slowly pivoting into a game dev world.
We'll talk about the game, and then I want to dig into a little bit of that. I didn't know you're a car designer.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I'm into cars, so I think
Perfect.
a lot to talk
Cool.
about there. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So what I'm looking at with You Remembered is you're kind of a little orb is your character. You roll around and then you type a letter on a keyboard, and then that letter will drop, and you need to use the physics, the tumbling of that letter, the stacking of that letter to overcome different obstacles and solve different puzzles throughout the puzzle platformer. I pulled it up. I didn't get too in depth into it yet, but I did realize like how you're starting to use this mechanic. You need to think about the letter dropping, and then where it's how it's going to fall on its side, and then I imagine as the game progresses, you're going to have to think about dropping one letter and then another letter on top of it, and how that one's going to fall and tumble into a position that's going to help you along as well. That's my first impressions, and then can you speak more to that?
Yeah, sure. So you got it perfectly. That's the main mechanic of the game. And to add to that, so for this game to be relevant, to make sense, the letter had to be used in a way that it couldn't be anything else than letters. So, for example, if because I got a lot of these comments, is that people say like, why do you use letters instead of just blocks? It could be just a round, a square.
Yeah.
And the thing is that the perfect thing with letters is that we've got. It's well known in the culture that we have 26 letters, all different. And it's perfect as an object to use because we know them by heart, and there's so many possibilities of them. That's the perfect way to you already know them. You don't need to learn them again.
Yeah.
So it's just a different way of looking at the letters, looking at their shapes, so you can use them as. That's the main point. And the thing is that the challenge for me and to make the game interesting is now I have to find puzzles that requires you to use maybe a specific letters or a specific set of letters to make it interesting, and so you cannot, let's say, you cannot use any letters to pass these obstacles.
Yeah. It also has an educational aspect to it, but I don't know if you want to highlight that, but it is,
for
it
sure,
is a way for kids to learn letters.
It's one of my, it's one of my inspiration for doing it. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, cool. Is 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 it purely puzzle? Do the letters themselves start to lead to a storyline, or do you need to start to like read the letters and put them together later on? Is that a spoiler or anything like that, or anything you want to touch on?
It's not. I don't think it's a spoiler, but basically, it's not because there's a demo right now, and the demo doesn't reflect that so much at the moment. But the goal for the full game is to have like 2 layers to the game. The first layer would be the puzzles, where you just have like, let's say you have like 12 long levels, and but there would be like a second layer to it where there's like a metaphorical story being told there, and because so much of this game has been inspired by my first son and the way he's slowly learning letters. I think the goal is that the underlying story would be about parenting.
Oh, cool.
But and I think in a broader aspect, it would be about finding yourself when you lost yourself, kind of.
Cool. Interesting. Does that speak to who you are, this glowing orb? Can you speak to that character, or is it, I imagine it's very conceptual, but is there anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, no, and it is a question I had in the development because there would be like this, this second layer would be quite heavy and thematically, and it was, I mean, it's still a question I have to have this orb instead of like a character because it's hard to identify as an orb, but in the logical sense of things, a rolling orb is the thing that makes more sense than anything else. I mean, it could be. I think that's the same problem that the developer of Sonic run into. I guess they had a ball rolling, and they said like, "What animals is a ball?" And they say, "Oh, a hedgehog." Oh, that makes sense. So I think they had it's the same. They had the same problem as I'm just having now. But I think I want to. I want most of the stories to be told kind of with subtlety, like in the metaphors around and the things and the backgrounds. Basically, the story won't be told by text; it would be told by secrets that you can find. So it's really like in the details and in the background.
Yeah, yeah. There's also something that um, I like that isn't really highlighted a lot in design, but just letters as a sort of a style of art. Um, like just it. There's something about letters that we look at them as they need to create a word, but we don't ever like really appreciate them as like a design. And so
Yes.
when you see them in a game setting or something like that being used as something different, it triggers something cool.
Yeah,
And
yeah, I agree, and
so that
definitely.
yeah, that's another thing that I'm digging about your game.
I,
Um,
I think to jump on that,
mhm.
it's one of the inspirations is because my son is growing and starting to slowly learn alphabet,
Yeah.
and to 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 get a kid to learn about letters, you don't teach him in the way you would teach an adult. So you have to think about letters individually and try to make him think of like, yeah, A is kind of like a ramp shape,
Mhm.
and P is this weird shape as well. So you kind of try to be like funny about it, and that's I was describing those letters to him, and that's what made me think like, oh, actually, yeah, those letters they have funny shapes, and we could do stuff with that.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
first
Yeah.
part of the game. Yeah.
Yeah. I could see that how it started to come together as a physics uh, experience. Is there any other inspirations, like other games and stuff? Is this a genre of game that you're drawn to?
Yeah. So in general, I like puzzle minimalist games. So that's I've been wanting to make a game for a long time, and I knew that if I make a game, that would be this kind of games. But there's a game, yeah, that inspired me a long time ago. That's Super Type. I don't know if you're familiar with this one. It's
No, not familiar.
it's if you see it, you'll see the inspiration directly. It's like
Yeah.
it's a mobile game basically where you have very simple puzzle like with shapes,
Hmm.
and on top of the screen you also have like slots to type letters, and once you type it, the letters fall, and they have to, like, let's say they have to reach a dot or a zone somewhere in the scene.
Mm-hmm.
And so I played that game. I thought, oh, that's really creative. That's really cool. Like you use letters like this as well.
Yeah.
Um, but I thought that there was something frustrating about that game, and that's what inspired me to make a platform out of it. Is because that game, I thought some levels were really cool. Like you really understand what needs to be done. You have to think about it. But a lot of levels, it was a lot about trying random letters and see if it works.
Yeah.
And I thought this could be improved because that's not really satisfying when you succeed a level like this. Like yeah, you have to try letters and see what with the physics what falls at the right place. That's not really my idea of a satisfying puzzle game. Like the
Yeah,
best puzzle games are the one like you slowly learn the mechanics and you understand what needs to be done, and when you find it, you know why.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. You want that reward feeling
yeah,
of the solution.
yeah, to
There's
fully
also
understand where it comes from.
there's also something I really appreciate about a physics, a puzzle slash physics, is that you need to not only solve the puzzle, but also you need to like drop that letter at at the right position. Sometimes you need to drop it at the right time, so you have to get your timing right, or this
Yeah,
type of thing.
exactly.
And so there's a little bit of dexterity mixed with puzzle solving, and that's what I'm really drawn to with these recent games like this one. Where it's a combination of
Yeah,
puzzle and physics.
yeah, I
Um,
agree. Yeah,
yeah, cool.
it's like I was going to say it's also like kind of a hard balance to find with those type of games, because like it's kind of like a deal you make with the developer saying like, oh, okay, you're using physics, so that's an understanding we have. But suddenly, if the physics is slightly off, then that the deal is kind of broken. You know what I mean? Like there's like
Yeah,
so
yeah,
if you use physics, you have to do it right, kind of.
yeah. Have you gotten into even like a sort of mass of letters at all? Like, do they like um, do they all have the same weight to them, or have you like
Oh
thought
no,
about
yeah, I thought it would be
heavier
more
letters?
logical to have different weights. Yeah, for
Um,
regarding of the size and the shape of the letter. Yeah.
yeah, um, a a G would be heavier than like an I or something like that.
Yeah,
But
exactly. I mean, I is the lightest of the letters. Yeah,
yeah,
and in the game, I think M is the heaviest.
yeah, that could be for the later, more advanced levels. You start to get that.
I
That could be
actually, yeah, actually, and I use it for some secrets. Yes, yeah,
cool. Cool. Okay, I think that's a good place to shift gears because I want to talk about you and your background. Because again, you're French. You're living now in London. That's correct. And
yeah,
you said that you're a car designer outside of
yeah,
making games.
yeah.
What kind of car designer? What does that mean?
So I'm an exterior designer for Ford.
Cool.
Yeah, yeah, I've been in that position for like I'll say, yeah, 8 years now. Yeah, yeah, it's been a long time.
You said exterior designer.
Yeah, correct. Yeah,
Like a do you actually do the drawing like from straight on paper? Oh,
yeah, yeah. You
so
start with the paper, then
you have like a full industrial design training. Like you can draw really well. Like
yeah. I mean, it's specific because I learned car design, so I can draw cars perfectly, but nothing else.
um,
If it has four wheels, I can do it well.
man, that's super cool. Uh, I have a degree. I have a bachelor's in illustration. So I spent 60 hours a week drawing for like 4 years
Yeah,
of my
okay.
life. So I know what it's like. Really, I never took one of the industrial design drawing classes and stuff like that, but I do understand
Yeah,
like there's really arm movement, like really those sweeping lines and training your arm to
yeah, yeah,
do it, and those drawings they look really cool. So and then to hear you go from that background of a designer concept artist, like you have that same kind of vibe to making a game that is maybe uses very little of that, but still a lot of your design sense I can see within it.
yeah. I
Is
guess, yeah,
really cool. One of the things that I like to highlight with these interviews is like people coming from one area where maybe they never thought they could make a game and totally making a game on their own and
yeah,
showing the audience that they can do it. So
yeah. Sure. I mean,
um,
definitely. I mean, I'm definitely one of those people that is starting from zero, and I just started like I don't know 6 months ago. Yeah.
yeah, well, so you're doing all the code as well.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Although I'm learning, so it's all about tutorials, finding the one other person that did what you want to do and applying to yourself, and of course using a kind of a lot
Yeah.
of AI as well. Yeah.
Are you working with a particular engine?
Godot. I'm using
Oh,
Godot.
Godot. Godot. Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've worked a small bit with Godot. I know that Godot script is very essentially Python, which
yeah.
is so. This is your introduction to coding. So you started out, I think, in a good direction. You probably did you study some Python and then moved over to Godot script or
No,
um,
straight Godot.
straight Godot? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
And
and
at
then
first it was like because I wanted to see if I could make a game with like zero knowledge in coding. So I started straight up with AI, saying I want to let's try this.
yeah.
And the more I was moving forward, the more I see that it was I mean with a lot of patience, it was kind of doing what I told him to do.
Hmm.
And now it's 6 months into the project, and I kind of understand the logics of everything and how things work. And now I use less and less AI in my project. That's cool.
Yeah, I made a video in the past about using AI, with code and whatnot, and
Yeah,
it's it's a funny, it like why hinder yourself, especially when the point is to make a game, like go ahead and use it, um, but you can't do it. I imagine that you've ran into this problem where you're like, oh, it'll write the code for me, and then it started writing the code, and then you put it in the game, and you're like, that's buggy, or
oh,
that's not doing the right thing, and then you
so many
tried to have
times. Yeah,
it fix it, and it didn't fix it right, and then you're like, okay, I guess I have to like actually try to like understand this code
yeah,
because it's
for
just going to
sure.
keep
Yeah,
turning out like bad script after bad
yeah,
script, and
no,
then
exactly.
yeah, and then you could kind of dissect it down. Oh, this one function is the one that's the real problem. Just rewrite this one function.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
you can't have it rewrite the entire script. It'll just rewrite
Oh
everything
no,
and
it's
screw up
impossible.
everything
Yeah,
else. Yeah.
for sure.
Um,
Yeah.
so again,
So
that's really interesting that you're making use of these tools. You didn't know how to code. You dive into making a video game all on your own. I think that's really inspiring.
well, yeah, but I know in the game dev community there's a lot of backlash on using AI for coding, and I get it. The thing is that without AI, I probably wouldn't be doing this. So
Yeah.
that would
Yeah.
be one less game in the industry.
Yeah. I wonder about that backlash. A little off topic, but I think it's interesting. I feel like, I mean, I want to say, I feel like there's even these guys that claim to be entirely anti AI. I feel like secretly they're like going behind the scenes and like using it a little bit. And then like they don't want to
Yeah,
admit it that like, and I get it. It's, it's sort of feels like it's replacing people, but end of day, I don't know what we're gonna do about it. It's not gonna go
yeah,
away. It's not gonna stop.
yeah, for sure. Yeah,
And I don't know exactly where the line is of the debate where you're like, oh, I can't use AI, but I can use sort of frameworks. I can use an engine. I can use and then the engines are more and more automated with more and more like tools that help you. So I don't know. The line is just blurred between where you're actually using AI and where you're not. So it's a weird
yeah,
debate. Um,
exactly.
I don't think that you can make a game like the one you're making. I don't think AI can make this game on its own. I think it
Yeah,
takes you're using it and it's helping you greatly, but you're all at the same time. I feel like you're going through each step of the way, and you're kind of directing AI, or
yeah,
you're using your design sense. You're crafting this thing in the way that you want it to be, and AI is just kind of helping you bit by bit. But if you
yeah,
tried to have AI make this game all on its own, it would be unplayable. Like I've seen it.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
spent a
same.
small amount of time working for a company that was trying to do completely generated games, and they're very bad. Like,
I
like
bet. Yeah, I bet. I
um,
can imagine. Yeah, yeah.
so back to games. Did you have a dream uh, forever that you wanted to be a game developer? Like, have you been playing games since you were a kid? All that stuff.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And I think for a very, very long time it was just I don't know how to code, and I'm into like another passion. At the moment, I'm drawing cars. It's really cool. For a
Hmm.
long time, that was just this, and I think recently, well, with AI, that was like a one of the reason why I felt like it might be possible, and maybe the second reason is that I'm slowly getting very bored at my corporate job because like it is a cool job, but it's still very corporate. So
Yeah.
and game dev is kind of like a way out of this as well. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I totally understand. I mean, I worked in games, AAA games, and all this stuff, and it's all very slow. Actually, even
Yeah.
working at a corporate game studio moves very slow, and I was like always like I can do way more, I can do way more, and I
Yeah.
found my way to independent game development eventually,
Yeah.
and from then there, it's like too much work. You're like you
Yeah.
get buried. You're like, man, this is a lot. Like I
Yeah.
felt like I could do a lot, but I didn't know. I didn't I didn't I don't know what I signed up for, but this is a ton of work.
Yeah. Yeah. But the good thing when you start thing is that you don't know what you're stepping into. I think
Yeah,
that's a good thing.
yeah. I mean, your project is a really good start. You've already and you're going about it really the right way, which is you have an idea, you're seeing it through. You're not just shelving it or getting too deep into like what's called feature creeping, where you just keep
Yeah.
building on it. You know,
Yeah.
you've got a demo out. The demo's available on both itch and you can get the demo on Steam as well, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Exactly. Yeah.
and yeah, you're close to actually releasing. You know, like there's a lot of
Yeah.
independent game developers who start lots of projects and don't see them through because seeing it through to final release is one of the most exhausting things you can do. Like that last couple
Yeah.
months of bug fixing and polish
Yeah.
and little details is really exhausting.
For the full game, I bet it's going to be a tough one. But yeah.
Yeah. Um, and you started with a good genre. Do you have dreams of getting deeper into a game like getting into maybe rigged characters and full 3D? Are you like a 3D modeler? Do you know 3D modeling?
I know how. Yeah, I make 3Ds, but at the moment it's not my dream game. I mean, yeah, maybe I have a huge dream game, but
Yeah,
it's not very precise in my mind at the moment. I guess that's something I've been lucky with is that I started this game not because I wanted to make a game, but because I had this funny idea with letters, and I thought, oh, it could be funny as a game, and I went into it that way. So that
yeah,
way, I had like a strong concept in mind. I just followed this concept blindly, kind of. Yeah, at the moment, I just have this. I mean, of course, I've got some ideas creeping in for next games and everything, and I just shut them down. but
mm,
but at the moment, I just have like this cool mechanic, I think, and I'm just trying to like make use of it to tell the best stories I can with this, I guess.
yeah, yeah, yeah. If you're anything like my path, it was um, kind of get a game done, get it out, deal with the struggles, the
Yeah,
challenges, um, go back to corporate life, like not think about it for a minute, then get bored again with corporate, like, or get
yeah,
frustrated again with jobs, and I go, all right, like, I want to do another game. I'll take on the challenges again. You're refreshed.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So I think we can move into kind of some closing stuff. I like to return to the game, see if there's anything we missed, and ask you. Have you had play testers? Have you watched people play? I mean, your family members and stuff like that. Is there any
yeah,
like,
yeah.
is there anything that you would like to explain to them to like any new play testers that like things that they might be confused with or things that will help them in the introduction?
Yeah. So I had let's say roughly 10 playtesters amongst my family and friends,
Hmm.
and that was cool. I was like, really helpful, but also a trap, because on the 10 people that tried my game next to me, of course, I tried to not tell anything while they were playing, but I guess there's a huge bias, and each one of them, like the 10 people playing it, at the end of it were like, "Oh, that's really cool! I loved it. That's such an amazing mechanic and everything." So I ended up being like super confident about it, and then when I released the demo, I was like, I saw like, and I think it's still pretty much the case, but like there's a huge percentage of it, of people playing it, that are leaving in like less than 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's something that, I wasn't prepared for. Like, I thought everyone loved it. So that was kind of like a cold shower. Like, oh, okay, I guess, yeah. But the problem is that people that like my game, they come and tell me, but people that don't like it, they just leave and they never tell me what's wrong with it. So that's the reason why I went to each IO, actually. It's right, because like on Steam for a demo, you don't really have feedbacks for a demo. But on each, I thought I would get more comments, but that didn't work that way. I don't have many comments as well there.
It's interesting with itch. You're gonna have like itch is just sort of like a website template practically, or something like that. Like they don't help you get players at all. It's just here, host your game and then deal with getting people to play it yourself. But here's the framework. So it's really, unless you can get itch to what do I say, like highlight it or that type of thing, which is really tough because it just gets thousands of submissions all the time.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's it.
It's really challenging. That's, hopefully with this video, anybody watching this video, definitely go to his itch page, give him comments or play the demo, but give him feedback there. But
feedbacks.
It's, if I know this from YouTube, you're like the first 3 seconds, everybody, like, I don't know what percentage of people just don't watch your video after the first 3 seconds, so with games, it's semi the same thing. It's really hard to, like, it's hard to get someone to watch like a 30-second video and then you're like, oh, I need to get someone to commit to this game, which could take like an hour, or 40 hours. Like, so with game dev, you really are asking a lot of people. I don't know if independent game developers and small-time game developers really realize that, but it's a challenging art form. It takes people's attention, investment, and all that stuff.
Definitely.
And you're up against something, but in terms of like what I think, once you get a taste for the art form of it and the tools, like as an artist, you really get addicted to it. You're like, wow, like how much power I have as an artist with a game is, and so there's
said
that
the word, that's
addiction.
addictive.
That's what I was gonna say. Like you're run into the challenges promoting your game, like this and that, getting feedback, and it can really beat you down, and then even the reviews can be really bad, but then at end of day you'll come back to it and be like, I just want to build more, though there's so much there.
For sure. That's
I'll do it and see if I could get people to see that.
And specifically when you're working in corporate industry, because like in a corporate world, you're such a tiny piece of a huge machinery, and suddenly, like when you're trying solo dev and you realize like, oh wait, hold on, I can, if I want to have raining on my scene and the rain starts to melt everything down, I can do it in 5 hours, and then you do it and you see it happening in front of you, like, wow, I did it in 5 hours. It's crazy.
It's making games, like, it's just this really powerful feeling, like,
yes, you're just playing God.
It's intoxicating.
Crazy.
For sure.
Yeah, definitely.
And then on the flip side of that, very humbling when you actually release it and all that.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, well, if there's anything else, I think we could start to wrap this up. Did you have anything else you wanted to say?
I forgot. I mean, it's another hook, I guess, to let's say, intrigue people playing my game is we talked about using letters and why use letters instead of shapes and everything, but like I realized when I have 5 slots to put letters and play with them and place them wherever the player wants, and I realized, well, if I can place 5 letters, maybe I should trigger stuff happening because of words. So like a huge portion of the game, and more into as you go into the full game, is about like finding secret words that activate secret mechanics.
Cool.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah. Hidden. So it's like Easter eggs
yeah,
within the game.
yeah, exactly. And as you progress, I think those mechanics will be more and more important to move forward.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, this has been a talk with Arlychaut about his game You Remembered. And if you like these videos, make sure to check out some of my other interviews and subscribe to the channel. All right. Thanks.